your hands up, put your hands up, come on, put your hands up. Are you ready?
Hope day! Hope day! Hope day! All right, I'll stop. Hey, we appreciate you guys joining us for a brand new episode of Time2Football. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of the show that we like to call Time2Football. Glad you guys are joining us on this wonderful Wednesday morning. All right, I'll stop. Hey, it's week 8. Week 8 of the 2021 NFL season is coming up. And for you guys that play fantasy football, your waivers have already processed. I know that waivers as of this week was a little bit bare. There wasn't really anything that we could have done. Not much done on the waivers. It's slim pickings. You know, you might have noticed in that waiver wire ads and video drops video that the most of the waivers ads and drops were owned by like 50% of leagues, and I was like, man, I feel kind of bad putting this down here that they're a must add when they're already owned in like 50% of leagues. But whatever, dude, whatever. That's all I can do. I mean, there's really not anything else out there because it's week 8. We've already known who's worthy of an ad, who's worthy of drops, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down for you guys that don't own them in those respective leagues. Glad you guys are joining us, though, for this episode. What we're going to be talking about here today, we're going to go over NFL news and notes like we do every single day. We're going to go over our starts and sits video. I'm just going to try something new. I'm just trying different things on this live show. And every Wednesday, I thought, hey, why not just give like a little bit of a breakdown of the starts and sits video, a little bit of an explanation, because I know that's only like 6-7 minutes long. You don't really get an in-depth explanation on a lot of the starts and sits. So I'm just going to browse through it and just kind of give like a sentence or two on each player and you know, which players I feel like, why are they a start, why are they a sit. And then also on top of that, we're going to be talking about our power rankings. We update those every Wednesday as well. Glad you guys are joining us in the chat. And we're going to have a segment dedicated to you guys that are joining us in the chat and leaving your comments, your questions, whatever it may be. I'll go ahead and interact with the guys as you guys are leaving your comments down below. Miguel says, good morning, guys. Always one of the first ones to tune into this live stream. Miguel, you are a loyal fan. You are extremely loyal, joining us from a different place, from across the Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico. Okay, Puerto Rico. I need to look up a map. But you're from Puerto Rico. All right, so wherever, whatever body of water that is, you still have enough, great signal enough to tune in to this live stream, and I appreciate that. I really do. So appreciate you joining in. Yo, what's up, Hassan? What's up, Ron Real TV? Melee, good morning. Good morning to you. Fex Rocks. I didn't say the F word. I didn't say it. I traded away Carter and Murray for Barkley. How do you rank him rest of the season? Is this Latavius Murray? That's a fair enough trade. I think Michael Carter is going to be like on the rise, and he's going to get a majority of the touches now moving forward for the New York Jets. But hey, I mean, Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley, and I think they haven't ruled him out just yet in Week 8. It's an outside chance though, but given the fact that they haven't ruled him out just yet, tells me that he might be closer to returning than we may think. Same thing with Miles Sanders, by the way. If you guys own Miles Sanders in fantasy football, or if you're just an Eagles fan in general, I mean, you're probably like, oh man, Miles Sanders, this is a big blow. I mean, is it really when they don't run with the ball? But hey, Sanders has a low ankle sprain, and he's week to week, according to head coach Nick Sirianni. They haven't ruled him out this week against the Detroit Lions. I don't expect him to play, but they just technically haven't ruled him out. So I don't know. If he's limited in any sort of capacity, that'd be huge. For everyone that spent a lot of fab or a top waiver claim to pick up Kenneth Gainwell, guys, I didn't even put up a claim for Kenneth Gainwell. I had him on my roster for the longest time. Since week 1. I was like, this guy's going to go off. And he might go off. But then I eventually dropped him because I was like, once Miles Sanders got hurt, it's like, oh man, like the way that they're using Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. Hey, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kenneth Gainwell is the truth and is going to get the majority of the touches. But hey, I mean, by the looks of it, I think it's going to be Boston Scott on the ground. Anyways, I'm just rambling about nothing. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the show. First, we're going to be talking about some NFL news and notes that's going around the league as of today, Wednesday, October 27th, I believe it is. Okay, so the Green Bay Packers, we mentioned on the show yesterday that they are dealing with some COVID-19 issues going around the league. You already had Matt Nagy, who got COVID-19 with the Chicago Bears. Hey, maybe the close contact. They played the Bears a couple of weeks ago. Maybe Devontae Adams was a close contact. I don't know. I doubt it that they got it from there. But anyways, Devontae Adams has been ruled out, right? We already covered this. Now, Allen Lazard, their number 2 receiver, who had a big game against the Washington football team, he's been ruled out as well. He's been put on the reserve COVID-19 list. Now, people were talking about, oh man, maybe there's a chance that Devontae Adams could come back. I mean, it's a short week. It's Thursday. No, he's not going to be coming back. But then there is also another conversation about maybe Allen Lazard. No, they're not going to be playing this week against the Arizona Cardinals, especially Allen Lazard, who's unvaccinated. So if you're unvaccinated, that means you go through a whole different process of trying to get cleared and back into the swing of things. And Allen Lazard is going to be missing some time. It might be this Thursday. Since it is a long week after Thursday, he might be playing the next week in week 9, but Allen Lazard is out. Devontae Adams is out. That includes, at this point, it's going to be Randall Cobb, Amari Rogers, Robert Tonyan, and then also the other big news coming out of Green Bay is that MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, has been activated or could be activated off of injured reserve and playing in this game against the Arizona Cardinals, which would be big time for the Green Bay Packers. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury, placed on injured reserve, but he could be making his long-awaited return against the Arizona Cardinals and could be the hero, could be the leading receiver this week. Jabril Peppers of the New York Giants, talented safety. He tore his ACL, and unfortunately, he is out for the season. That Giants defense, I've been telling you guys, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But this is a big blow to that New York Giants defense. Jabril Peppers is going to be expected to miss the season. Duke Johnson, who's been jumping around from team to team, practice squad to practice squad, he officially signs with the Miami Dolphins in their practice squad after Malcolm Brown has been placed on injured reserve. Due to a quad injury, he's going to miss a minimum of 3 games. Duke Johnson is going to be on the practice squad. We expect him to be elevated at some point to work in with Myles Gaskin and Salvon Ahmed. Jerry Jeudy, someone else that's been on injured reserve, could be activated and is likely to play this week, week 8. He suffered an ankle injury early on in the season. He was Teddy Bridgewater's favorite target. They developed chemistry throughout the offseason and OTAs and training camp. And now he's finally going to be making his long-awaited return into the lineup. Jerry Jeudy is expected to play in Week 8 against the Washington football team. Okay, so for you guys that needs a little bit of clarity on the New England backfield. What's going on with that? Okay, so you got Damian Harris as your top back, right? Then you've got Ramondre Stevenson, J.J. Taylor, Brandon Bolden. Who's RB2? In that pecking order. Well, here's some news that we found out from the running backs coach in New England. Ramondre Stevenson's status is week to week, and his status is based off how well he performs in practice. So he was inactive. They made him inactive last week because J.J. Taylor had a better week in practice. And J.J. Taylor came out and had 2 touchdowns in that game against the New York Jets. Ramondre Stevenson, now they're saying the same thing. Whoever gets the better week in practice is going to be active. Brandon Bolden, at this point, I mean, we assume, based off of what we're reading right here, that he's going to be active every single week. He's going to be that James White, in that James White role. Whereas Ramondre Stevenson and J.J. Taylor, they're going to be fighting for RB2 behind Damian Harris. So, I mean, it's not an optimistic outlook for anyone. I know that Miguel, actually, one of our viewers, was saying, should I drop Ramondre Stevenson for J.J. Taylor? And I was like, I can't give you an answer. I don't know. I really don't. I would keep Ramondre Stevenson just because of how great he's looked in OTAs, and I'm just basing it off of that. But J.J. Taylor has been looking great as well. So to kind of give a little bit more clarity on the New England Patriots running back situation, it's whoever has a better week in practice is going to be the RB2. The other one is going to be inactive. And their status is going to differ week to week. This is per the running backs coach at the New England Patriots. In the last little bit of NFL news and notes, Will Lutz, the talented kicker for the New Orleans Saints, unfortunately, we thought he was going to be making his return, activated off of injured reserve at one point last week. and we thought he was going to make his debut Monday Night Football. That unfortunately will not be happening. He's going to be missing the entirety of the 2021 season. He had a little bit of a setback after his core muscle surgery, and sadly, he's going to be missing that time. Brian Johnson will be taking over as the New Orleans Saints kicker moving forward. But that is your NFL news and notes as of today, October 27th. Now, I'm going to be talking about the starts and sits video that we just dropped. Okay, so we're bear with me. We're experimenting with a new time. My buddy Rob, him and I have been talking about how can we help Time2Football grow and everything. And we're trying to get used to like the YouTube algorithm and everything. So we learned that when we come out with a video at 6 a.m., believe it or not, Eastern Standard Time of all times, that it performs well. Like our Week 6 starts and sits video had like 21,000 views when we came out with it on Wednesday, 6 a.m. And then our starts and sits video last week, Week 7, when we come out with it on Wednesday at 12 p.m., so just a few hours later, it only had 14,000 views. So we lost out on 7,000 views. So it looks like 6 a.m. might be the sweet spot. So Wednesday, 6 a.m. is now the time that you can expect to see the starts and sits video to drop on this channel. So for you guys that are tuning into this live stream, you got that little bit of a nugget, got that little bit of an edge, so you can tune in early, bright and early, wake up for work, drink your morning coffee, and tune into that starts and sits video. But now what I'm going to do is on the live shows, I'm just going to give a little bit of like a brief rundown of the starts and sits video. So I'm going to show it to you guys, and then I'm going to just give a little bit of a rundown. So this is literally the video, the MP4 file. I'm just showing it to you on my computer, and let's just follow along. So there's not going to be any audio to this, right? I'll put myself in the corner right here. By the way, Chris Hogan is right here, and he was nice enough to give us a little bit of a shout out here before the video. That's when we interviewed. We went to Super Bowl 53 Media Day, so when the Patriots faced the Rams. Chris Hogan, we asked him if he could give a shout out. He said yes. And congratulations, by the way, Chris, on your recent retirement. All right, so now let's get into the starts and sits for this week. Let me just skip around a little bit. You can see the success rates. By the way, with success rate, people are saying, oh, what's a good success rate? What's a bad success rate? Pretty much to put it in perspective, think of like quarterback completion percentage. That's the best way I could put it. So anything over like 65% to like 70% is like really good, like great. If you're over 60%, you're like kind of average. Anything under 60% is like, no, that's not that good. So we're kind of teetering in that. Okay, so tight ends is like 68%. We're really, really good in that category. And then everything else, we're just kind of more so average. To kind of give you a little bit of perspective on that. But yeah, our quarterback starts: Carson Wentz, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins. There isn't really much to discuss right there. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory at that point. I mean, Carson Wentz has been very, very consistent. Our sleeper of the week is Trevor Lawrence. Let me actually put myself in the bottom right here. So you can see the success rate. Yeah, we are 4-3 in that aspect of predicted the sleepers, but hey, that's okay. Okay, so now we've got the bust or the sits. I mean, again, very self-explanatory. Bust of the week, Tua Tagovailoa. We don't expect him to have that big of a game against the Buffalo Bills. Listen, Taylor Heineke and Patrick Mahomes are the only two quarterbacks that had over 18 fantasy points against the Buffalo Bills. So kind of put that in perspective on Tua's outlook. If we keep on scrubbing through, we have the starts. Damian Harris has been looking great. I said that he's going to be facing the Jets. No, it's actually the Chargers. Don't ignore that. But anyways, Chuba Hubbard, Darrell Henderson, Darrell Williams. I like the Darrells. Alex Collins as well. 16 carries last week. So stay high on Alex Collins. Khalil Herbert, again, it's what I explained in the video. He's taken over as the starting running back right now in the absence of David Montgomery. Could change. Damian Williams could come in and get 15 carries very well. Like, that very well could happen. But Khalil Herbert, I think, is going to get at least 15 touches in this game. I mean, he's played way too well for that to not happen. Running back sits, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Damian Williams, I think he's just going to take the back seat at this point. I think Khalil Herbert is a handcuff. And Dearness Johnson, because Nick Chubb has returned to practice. So that's why. Devontae Booker. I haven't gotten a lot of crap for this. I expected to get a lot of crap. But Booker is just, I mean, I don't know, man. Like his touchdown from last week in his last 2 starts, his touchdown was the only saving grace for his fantasy football value. So that's why I have him as a bust of the week. And then you got the wide receiver starts, self-explanatory at that point. Sleeper of the week, Devontae Smith, and this is just based off the amount of targets that he's been getting. Wide receiver sits, self-explanatory. Tyler Lockett, man, that guy is suffering without Russell Wilson. He was our bust of the week last week, and he just did not deliver. Geno Smith just wants to be more careful with the ball. That's why. Brandon Cooks, okay, so we talked about him as being a trade target, someone that you want to acquire, but maybe after this week, let his value just keep on diminishing because he's got some good matchups coming up. And you want to take advantage of that. I think there's 5 games this year leading up to the fantasy football playoffs where Brandon Cooks is very startable and could put up double-digit fantasy points. Tight ends. Yeah, it's self-explanatory at that point. Dallas Goedert has been looking good without Zach Ertz there. Hunter Henry with this revenge game. Noah Fant, sleeper of the week. I'm not. No, I am kind of confident in him. I am confident. I think he's gonna do a really good job. Okay, so the sits. Out of all these sits, the one that I'm okay with starting would be Pat Freiermuth. I only put him as a sit because it's a bye week. I had to fill in 5 tight ends, and the Cleveland Browns has just been good stopping tight ends. But after his 7-target performance last week or the week before their bye week, I think he's going to get a majority of the targets at the tight end position. Mo Alley-Cox, just touchdown dependent. Not too big on him. Kicker starts, again, owned at 8.5% of leagues. Evan McPherson is. Please, please, please pick him up. That number probably increase after waivers, but you may want to keep that in mind. Jake Elliott is also a sleeper. The kicker sits. Hey, do you remember, I don't know if you guys watch NFL Red Zone, but when Scott Hansen said, was showing like an update of Chris Blewett missing a field goal, and he said that, he said, I'm not going to say it. I know what you're thinking. We're all thinking it, but I'm not going to say it just because of his last name. But anyways, that's unfortunate. Hey, he made the NFL, though. He made the NFL. Zen Gonzalez, bust of the week. Defense and special teams, self-explanatory. Don't really need to get into that. The Chargers, even though they got smacked last year by the New England Patriots, 45-0 or something like that, I mean, this time around, I think the Chargers secondary holds the Patriots in check. And then defense to sit. I actually had the Cowboys as a drop as well, just because their matchups coming up in the coming weeks is not that good. Maybe Denver is the only good one, but especially against the Minnesota Vikings this week, I'm not starting them. And then the Eagles would be the bust of the week because the Lions, I think we should give them a little bit more credit than they deserve. But that's just like a little bit of a breakdown of our starts to sits video, just a little bit more analysis on it, on my thinking on why I put them as a starts and sits. So just wanted to give you a little bit of an explanation on that. But if you wanted like the short, brief, rundown of it, then just go watch that video on our YouTube channel. And yeah, that's it. All right, now we got to get into power rankings. Who are the best teams in the NFL as of week 8, going into week 8? So what we do is we name 25 through 32, stop, talk about it. 17 through 24, stop. We're just going to name 8 at a time, and then we're going to stop and talk about it. So first, let's talk about 25 through 32. Who are the teams that are at the bottom of the barrel? 25, the Giants. 26, Eagles. 27, Bears. 28, Jaguars. 29, Jets. 30, Dolphins. 31, Lions. 32, Texans. I mean, the bottom 5, they don't change just because they lost or they had a bye week. The Giants, they're moving on up after that victory against the Carolina Panthers. Looked very impressive. The Eagles continue to drop. And the Bears take a big drop as well. -3 spots outside of that top 24 and into the bottom 25 through 32. So that is 25 through 32, self-explanatory, not much to get into. Now 17 through 24, this is, okay, we're getting a little bit better into the better aspect of the teams. 17 Colts, 18 Vikings, 19 49ers, 20 Patriots, 21 Broncos, 22 Panthers, 23 Washington, 24 Falcons. Okay, so the Falcons move up a couple spots. They've been looking good on offense. They kind of turned it around a little bit. Sit at 3-3 after their bye week. The Panthers are dropping. They dropped 3 spots after a 4-game losing streak. What's going on, Carolina? We got to turn it around. The 49ers, they dropped 2. You'd expect them to be a little bit better after the bye week, but they lost against the Indianapolis Colts. They set at 2-4, and the Colts continue to move up after a hard beginning of the season. Started 0-3. Since then, went 3-1. They move up 5 spots. So the Colts could be a team that we could be talking about in the playoff race, at least trying to make a wild card spot, just because of the consistency that they're bringing on offense and defense. So don't sleep on the Indianapolis Colts. Now, moving on to the 9 through 16 category. So these are teams that are actually in playoff contention as of right now and have a good shot of making the playoffs. Most of them. Let me explain, because number 16 is kind of 9 through 16. 9, the Bengals. 10, the Ravens. 11, Browns. 12, Steelers. 13, Saints. 14, Raiders. 15, Chiefs. And 16, the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, number 16, they continue to fall. They were ranked inside of the top 8 at one point, and then Russell Wilson got hurt. And then since then, I've just been slowly but surely dropping them in our power rankings. Same thing with the Chiefs. I had hopes for them. I had hopes. I thought they were going to be a good team. I thought, oh, no, this week was just an outlier. Oh, no, this week as well was just No, they just continue to lose games, don't look good. So I'm just going to go ahead and just drop them. And they're barely inside of the top 15, minus 6 spots. The Raiders continue to look good with Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia as the interim head coach. The Baltimore Ravens drop a few spots after that loss against the Cincinnati Bengals. I had to put the Bengals over the Ravens because I had the Bengals ranked criminally low. Okay, number 17 was what their ranking was prior to this week. I had to move them up a few spots. Up 8 spots, actually. So a whole little section that I moved up, the Cincinnati Bengals. So they're in the side of the top 10 ranking at number 9. Now, we've got the Elite 8 right here. Who are the best teams in the NFL? Let's talk about 1 through 8. So let me read from number 8 up to number 1. Number 8, Tennessee Titans. 7, Chargers. 6, Bills. 5, Cowboys. 4, Packers. 3, Buccaneers. 2, Rams. And 1, the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, so the Titans move up after that huge victory, dominating victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Packers, Cowboys, Bills, Chargers, they all move up 1 spot. Even though the Cowboys, Bills, and Chargers were on their bye week, I had to drop the Baltimore Ravens from the number 4 spot all the way down to number 10. So that's why, by default, all of those teams move up just 1 spot. The Buccaneers, they just continue to win. They sit at number 3 because they lost to the Los Angeles Rams, who also lost to the Arizona Cardinals. So that's the order, okay? Cardinals beat the Rams. Rams beat the Buccaneers. That's why they're 1, 2, and 3. Undefeated Arizona Cardinals, the best team in the NFL. Hey, like they say, like J.J. Watt says, maybe they're just better than you. The number 1 team in our power rankings is the Arizona Cardinals, and that is our power rankings for Week 8. If you agree, disagree, leave a comment down below. I'd love to interact with you and acknowledge that. All right. My throat's getting dry. Rise up. I'm an Atlanta fan. Atlanta fan all the way. We're based out of Atlanta. Hey, how about those Braves? Those Braves looked amazing. We were watching that game, and I was like, hold on. They got a lead. They're going to blow this lead. They got to blow this. And then they just continue to rack up run after run after run. So go Bravos. Tomahawk chop. Is that racist? I don't know. All right, now time for the segment where we talk about viewer questions. We answer questions that you guys leave in the chats, in the comments, whatever it may be, and I acknowledge that, and I just spend a little bit of time hanging out with you guys and just answering any sort of questions that you guys may have. Let's first start off with, let's just skip around a little bit here. You called it last week on New York Giants defense. This is according to Melee. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Giants defense is not that bad. The Panthers offense has not been looking good. Now, I think the Panthers offense will be better this week. Or at least I hope. Because if not, they're in very, very much like bad trouble. But yeah, I think the New York Giants defense is not that bad. Okay, so should I pick up Lawrence / Chenault or Wentz / Hilton for this week? This is by Jabo219. What about Wentz and Chenault? How about that combination? I know what you're getting at. Like you want to stack. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Lawrence gets 17 points and Chenault gets 10. But Wentz gets 19 and Hilton gets 7. Why are you going to go with Lawrence and Chenault? Why not just go with Wentz is 19, Chenault's 10? You get what I'm saying? I know the stack. The only stack like satisfaction you get out of it is seeing, quarterback to touch, wide receiver touchdown automatically 10 points. It's just cool to see. But in reality, there's no strategy behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd go with Wentz and Chenault if I were you. Lewis, good morning, brother. Love your show. Appreciate all your thoughts and advice. Hey, Lewis, I appreciate you joining in. Brian Thomas, Boyd, Crowder, Boyd or Crowder, full PPR. Can we trust Tyler Boyd at this point? Can we trust Jamison Crowder with Mike White or Joe Flacco? That's a good question. Out of all of them, I mean, Tyler Boyd, just because of the matchup. Bengals defense is better than the Jets defense, so I would go with Tyler Boyd. Brandon got downsides yesterday, so glad I have this to look forward to at least. Oh man, it wasn't for watching your streams, so don't worry there. LOL, dude. Brandon, golly, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully it'll turn around. Hey, I know the feeling. I know the feeling, man. I've never been downsized, but I've been in that position before. Or actually, yeah. I have been let go of a job, but it was like a part-time job where it was like seasonal, but they didn't tell me it was seasonal. They just stopped sending me the schedule, and then I hit them up. I was like, hey, why did you stop sending me the schedule? Oh, this was a seasonal position. Huh? Oh, yeah, we just needed you for 3 months. Huh? Yeah, like the paperwork that you filled out, the training, the hours and hours of training that you went to. Yeah, we only needed for 3. What? So I understand, man. I understand. Hopefully you find a job here pretty soon. But I appreciate you tuning into the live stream. It means a lot. Damian Rivera. Love the streams, brother. Appreciate it, man. Hurts or Herbert? Ooh. Hey, I actually have a buddy that has Hurts and Herbert on his team as well. And I kind of misguided him the week where the Chargers played the Ravens. There was like, oh, should you start Hurts against the Buccaneers or Herbert against the Ravens? And I was like, oh man, you can't go wrong with either. Either of them are like doing really well, but like Jalen Hurts, I just don't like. There's a possibility like he can't be that good every single week, because he's like the best quarterback ever, the best worst quarterback, if that makes sense. So I was like, yeah, go with Herbert, and then he just put up 11 points. So what I'm going to tell you right now, Hurts over the Lions or Herbert against the Patriots. I'm going to take Hurts over or against the Lions. Consistent 20 fantasy points. How in the world is this happening? How the frick is Jalen Hurts getting 20 or more fantasy points every week? Now, he was my quarterback 4 in my positional rankings, preseason rankings. But I was like, hey, keep in mind, he's my quarterback 4 because he runs with the ball a lot. He's going to get some touchdowns, but he's going to be inconsistent at times. He's going to have those games where he only puts up like 4 points, and then he's going to put up 30 the next week. That's what I expected. But like a consistent 20 points, he's been like one of the main reasons why I've been so successful in fantasy football this year is just because I don't know how he does it, man. I'm waiting for the week every single week. When's the week that Jalen Hurts is going to just completely suck and ruin everybody's fantasy football day. But it hasn't happened yet. He might get benched. So make sure you have a backup, which you do in Justin Herbert. But hey, to answer your question, Jalen Hurts. Continue to roll with him. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he does it. So continue to roll with that. Mixon or Carter oh gosh. You have no name. How do you do that? It's just an emoji of like, is that Ellen DeGeneres? Yeah, you have no name on. Maybe your name is Spacebar. Mixon or Carter? I'm gonna go with Mixon. No name. Bennett, good morning. Hey, hope it's doing well. 15 minutes away, or maybe you're at work right now. But hey, I appreciate you joining in to this live stream. No name Spacebar also says Dak or Burrow. My fear is like, are the Bengals going to be up by a significant margin against the New York Jets? Are not going to have to pass it a lot. That's what I thought about the Mac Jones in his fantasy day last week. Burrow has just been playing on an unbelievable level, though. Oh, man, but Dak, it is a little bit of a tougher matchup, but it might be back and forth. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut, and my gut is telling me Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. Ronville TV, I got Barkley and CMC sitting on ice. Hope they both come back and kill it the rest of the season. Yeah, I hope. I'm more optimistic about CMC than Saquon Barkley just because the injuries. I don't know if they're just going to, at this point, be like, all right, we gave you like a full workload and you just continue to get hurt. Even though, like, he didn't get hurt from, like, plague. It was Kadarius Toney that kind of injured him friendly fire. But, yeah, I hope Barkley goes back to being a 3-down back. I hope. Melee says, I dropped Kenneth Gainwell the week before. Yeah, so did I. Now, I was in a desperation spot where I needed depth at, like, running back because my other running backs were hurt. And I went ahead and dropped Kenneth Gainwell. But I'm not, like, upset about it. I'm okay with it just because I know that Miles Sanders might only miss, like, 2 to 4 weeks. Probably. I'm not going to put all my eggs in a basket. Now, I'm in a bad spot in the sense of I have Antonio Gibson, David Montgomery's out, and even if they were to come back, like their bye weeks are like week 9, week 10, and I should have, like, I guess, kept Kenneth Gainwell in that aspect because I could put them in during their bye weeks, but, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's not a big loss if you don't have Kenneth Gainwell. I'm just trying to say that because I know a lot of people put in a lot of money to try to get Kenneth Gainwell, and all I'm saying is, not worth it. Daniel Jones or Hurts this week. Matchup might look good for Jones. Yeah, I agree. Daniel Jones, I would say at this point would be a drop for me in fantasy football just because of the inconsistencies, and I just don't trust that man. So Rubio, just to answer your question, like I went on that tangent with Jalen Hurts. Excuse me. Go with Jalen Hurts. Miguel, do you recommend dropping any of this? Kickers, Daniel Carson or Evan McPherson to add Greg Zuerlein. Greg Zuerlein is legit, man. Especially in that Dallas Cowboys offense. I'm so big on Evan McPherson, it's crazy. This week, those are 3 very good kickers. They are. I continue to roll with, you're just nitpicking at that point. I'd continue to roll with if you need a bye week kicker and you have Evan McPherson already on your roster, just keep Evan McPherson. It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. And as a matter of fact, he's more accurate than Greg Zuerlein. I don't know statistically, like this year, if Greg Zuerlein's missed more kicks. I think he has than Evan McPherson. I don't know that for sure, but I can go ahead and tell you just from watching them play and when they kick the field goal, where the ball actually lands between the posts. Evan McPherson most of the time is like dead center. And the only other kicker I have personally seen that where the majority of your kicks are just dead center, whether it be a 40-yarder, 30-yarder, whatever, Justin Tucker. I'm big on him. I'm big on McPherson. I've been telling you guys, please add Evan McPherson if you have the opportunity to add him and drop. Oh my gosh. Why do 50% of people own Jason Myers and only 10% of people own Evan McPherson? It does not make any sense to me. Antoine Smith. Good morning from the Bahamas. Love and appreciate the show. Hey, thank you for tuning in from Antoine Smith. Hey, we got 62 people joining into this chat. Appreciate you guys joining in. All right, I'm going to skip around a little bit because we do have only a few minutes. So let me go ahead and just got to answer a few questions. Dak or Stafford? This is from Alden Duras. Dak or Stafford? I mean, Stafford is playing at an unbelievable level. I guess the Houston Texans, I mean, I don't think that there's anything that's going to slow him down at this point. While the Minnesota Vikings could slow down Dak Prescott. So I'd roll with Matthew Stafford at that point. TDG actually says, should I take the risk on Brandon Cooks this week? Sure, because of the targets and the looks going his way. I think Jalen Ramsey is going to shadow him the whole time. And I don't think it's a position where Jalen Ramsey is just only going to play one side of the field. And whoever lines up is how they line up. But I think it's going to be him shadowing Brandon Cooks because he's the most talented pass catcher in that offense. Take him out, you're fine. Let me skip around a little bit more. Hello, this is from Naslin. Zach Ertz or Dalton Schultz? Ooh, I'd go with Schultz. Double-digit half PPR points in like the last 4 games that he's played. I'd continue to roll with that. Miguel says, in your videos, waiver wire ads and starts and sits, do you have any order in how you prioritize the players? Yes, I do. Okay. So when I say ad of the week, drop of the week, that is the player that you need to prioritize the most. So if the ad of the week this week for running backs was Kenneth Gainwell, then you have to prioritize him as your running back ad of the week well over the other running backs, such as Boston Scott, Latavius Murray, and Ronald Jones, I believe, was on the list. Now, starts and sits is a little bit different because when I say the must starts, that takes priority. Those 5 players take priority over the sleeper, over the bust. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, Trevor Lawrence is a sleeper of the week for our quarterback position. But in that list, he's ranked 6th, like on the bottom, because he's a sleeper. So there's a potential like, oh, we're overlooking him, but he could be a bust. But I think he's going to have a good game, so we're sleeping on him. But the must starts, like Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Burrow, like those guys, priority over the sleepers. So I hope that gives a little bit of explanation for you guys that are wondering about that. Let's answer one more. I know you guys are leaving a lot of comments. I do have to run a little bit here. But hey, again, every Monday through Friday, I do this live show. We have this segment. We dedicate probably like 10 minutes or so to answering any questions that you guys have live on air. So I encourage you guys to continue to join in and ask those questions. But let me go ahead and answer one more. And this guy is actually from Germany. So let me go ahead and just acknowledge him. Schnitzer. Pretty sure I hit that. Isaac Caron, he says, chill, bro. He'll sue you. Yeah, I will see you eventually. Don't worry about spamming. But hey, you're from Germany, so I'm going to give you the credit, and I'm going to go ahead and answer your question. T. Higgins or Claypool in the flex position? It's a tough matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, actually. Let's dive deep into this real quick. Give me one moment. I'm going to look at some stats. So T. Higgins is facing the New York Jets. Awesome. Whereas the Pittsburgh Steelers are facing the Cleveland Browns, so this could be a little bit of a tough week for them. Let me look into some stats here real quick and look into T. Higgins. Okay, so he had 15 targets last week. I knew that it was like a ridiculous double-digit amount of targets last week. While Claypool, he didn't do that well, from what I remember, against the Seattle Seahawks. It was just the Deontay Johnson show and Pat Freiermuth. I'm going to go with T. Higgins, bro. The 15 targets gives me a little bit of optimism right there, especially if you're in PPR. Do it, dude. Do it. I'd go for it. I'm in panic. Don't worry about it. Hopefully that can give you a little bit of clarity to start T. Higgins. All right, man. I wish I could really get to you guys. I really do, but I got to go ahead and sign off right here. But we appreciate you guys joining us for this episode of Time2Football. Again, if you didn't have the opportunity to have your question answered, continue to join in on these live shows Monday through Friday. 10 a.m. is when I start, and then I said that I would stop at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I have never stopped at that time. I've always gone a little bit longer than I have. But subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching, and remember, yeah.